All right, we got down here to Modern this morning and we're getting the car ready to hopefully do first fire. The goal is later today so that we can get a heat cycle in it and get the car on the hub dyno tomorrow. So just have a lot of loose ends to tie up, but the guys here at Modern did a great job in getting the wiring harness in. Yeah, really clean. Everything on the engine side of stuff is all Ray Chem. Pretty much they leave some of the boots and stuff off until we have everything function tested. So you see some loose ends on that yet. We had missed getting this sensor mounted, so we had to drill a hole and get that block welded in this morning. Getting some of the lines run to some of the Rife blocks yet. We've got a line to run for nitrous pressure. We've got one here for water injection. Let's see what else we do. Had to drill and tap the valve cover for crankcase pressure. Getting the EGT probes tied up. We still need to put a drive pressure sensor, get a stainless coil in there for that. Yeah, they did a really nice job here on the nitrous solenoids. Mounted all the plugs really nice on a bracket there. Gives you really easy access to switch stuff out if you need to. Everything on the inside then has just a braided wiring loom instead of the Ray Chem. That is a really clean install. Really happy with how everything lays in there. Spent a good bit of time learning a lot of stuff about the tie drive and the Liberty and how all of that works and how we need to program all of the logic for that. As far as getting through burnout and getting all the logic right and learning how to use the trans brake and all that stuff is definitely very different from what we're used to on the Turbo 400 stuff, but should be pretty cool. Makes a whole lot more sense now that we understand how some of that stuff works, but just kind of working our way through the list today. We put the drive shaft in a little bit ago. Got a new PST drive shaft for it. We're getting close to, yeah, a couple more lines to wrap up. Need to pressure test all of the nitrous system. And then we're getting close to being ready to put oil and fuel in it and get everything primed, and hopefully we'll have smoke in the pipes later today. It is 6:15 on day one and we're getting close to ready to see what we got. We've got power hooked up and we have had the ECU powered up. We've got fluids in the transmission. The engine has oil and fuel primed. So we're getting really close to party time. See if this all works the way it should. Nothing? 1, 2, 3. Holy moly. It ran. All right, we're almost at the end of day 2 here at Modern. Today has been kind of a long, slow day. We started the day out with getting a heat cycle in the car. Did engine break-in, did 5 minutes at 2,000 RPM. Got the car back in the shop and got everything cooled down and did a retorque. Went over valve lash. We also retorqued feed tubes. That's something that we have to keep an eye on quite a bit with the aluminum head. Got all of that stuff buttoned up and then spent the rest of the day finishing up some lines and miscellaneous sensors and stuff that we hadn't gotten done yesterday. Zig and I got the nitrous system pressured up, checked for leaks, We had a number of fittings that were too deep and caused the solenoids to leak, so we had to fix those up a little bit, but we got all the nitrous ready to go. We got the thing bolted to the dyno, so we were hoping to be a lot further than this by now, but kind of typical race car things, everything takes a little bit longer than it should. Last night we spent a good bit of time fighting a power issue where every time we would turn the ECU on, it would throw a fault code, and it took us quite a while to figure out what was going on with that, and finally got that straightened out and got it started last evening. Yeah, once we're done configuring a few more things, we'll be ready to go into the dyno in the morning. So party time tomorrow, and hopefully all goes well. All right, we've got the Duster back from Modern. I'd say overall we had a good week at Modern last week. We got a lot accomplished. We're really happy with the work that Modern did there. We spent a day and a half kind of finishing up some of the plumbing stuff and tying up all the loose ends that we hadn't gotten done yet. Modern got the harness buttoned up, and we kind of worked with them on getting some of the sensors and everything in place the way we wanted it. And then it was down to getting all the logic done, and the hope was to put the car on the hub dyno. We did get the car put on the hub dyno, but we weren't able to get any full pulls done the way we had hoped. We just simply ran out of time. We ran into a few small issues that kind of delayed us in the wiring side of things. When we went to do startup, I believe it was Wednesday evening, we had a couple of power-up issues that kept throwing some codes that really just cost us a number of hours. We were able to get it figured out and get the car started, just put us behind the 8 ball. And we had a Thursday afternoon hard deadline on when we had to head back. So we were able to let off the button a few times on the dyno, but we never quite had the nitrous logic finished the way we need it, and we couldn't see what was going on, so we just pretty much threw in the towel and said we're going to bring it back and we're going to get everything buttoned up the way it needs to be. So we're going to finish up some of that logic stuff here in the next day or two, try to put the car on the limiter a few times. We had some nitrous leaks that we had to fix, just a lot of new car stuff, bugs to work out. So we've still got a good bit of work to do the next couple days to get this thing to Rocky Top, but we feel like we should have a handle on it and be able to be down there Thursday to do testing. We're not quite sure what the weekend looks like as far as racing. Definitely the plan is to put the car down the track. We don't know if we're going to get to the point of making full hits or not, but we're going to focus on getting through the starting line procedure and starting to figure out the 60-foot. We have a new torque converter, we have a new transmission, we went to the 5-speed Liberty. So all of that stuff is pretty new to us, and definitely going to be a lot of stuff to figure out. So we'll see how quickly we can progress, and if nothing else, it'll be a test weekend for us. But if all goes well, maybe we'll make a few full hits and see what we got. So hope to see y'all at Rocky Top.